Competition time is also heating up closer to home. In Manchester, teachers Jonathan and Claire McMurrow tell us their hopes for this year's Worlds and how Irish dancing brought them together.
We had met briefly at the auditions in Riverdance, but we actually joined Riverdance on the same day. And Jonathan was with his friend and they turned up late. I think he'd forgotten his shoes.
Not me.
Yeah, you hadn't. And I thought that they looked like they were great fun. And we became friends very, very early on. And then we started seeing each other and fell in love. It was great.
We were in the show for 5 years, so we the first tour we did with Riverdance was in America, North America, and we toured there for probably 3 years. We toured in Australia, and then we both were on the Broadway show of Riverdance for 18 months.
Came back here and both started our degrees at Manchester Uni and started in the dancing class as well, started teaching at the dancing class, so it was full on almost straight away.
The Lally School is probably the biggest school in Manchester. There are quite a few schools. It's mostly actually girls in the school. We do have some boys. When we came home from Riverdance, we did have about probably 8 to 10 lads in our class. They've all gone on to be in shows like Lord of the Dance and Riverdance. There's loads of opportunities for guys in it now, probably a lot more than 10, 15 years ago.
Do anything to keep the boys. If you do that well, I'll give you £1. Constantly. If you do that in time, Kieran, I will give you £1. It does work sometimes. But you do anything to keep the boys on and keep them encouraged. It's great if you can get a group of boys together. It's very hard for a boy to come on his own and sit with the girls, so if you can get 2 or 3 boys and they're coming and meeting together every week, they usually stick at it together, but they're hard to keep hold of.
At the class tonight, the 16 children that are going to the World, they should all be there. They better be there. There's only one week to go, so if they're not there, there'll be trouble.
I think the standard is very high in the Northwest region.
There's feshes every weekend, really, all over the UK. In the Manchester region, there's probably maybe 10 a year. If a child's competitive and they really want to compete, they could definitely go to probably 2 feshes a month if they wanted to. I'm the only male teacher at the Lally School, and in Manchester, really, there's not very many male teachers. It's quite female dominated, I suppose.
3 or 4 males, is there?
Yeah.
You've never fully done your job as an Irish dancing teacher. There's always an extra place to go with it.
Now loud. Over cross it. Stamp, every stamp counts. Mum. Push it, push it!
There's so much to learn just from watching other people and thinking, oh, I could do that with her and that would really suit such and such a dancer, and you've got so much to learn.
Over, cross, there, push!
We're really looking forward to the World Championships. Apart from the competitive side of it, we get to see lots of people, fellow teachers and fellow adjudicators that we don't see for you know, from one end of the year to the next. And a lot of these people that we do see, we were in Riverdance with or in shows with, and they all left similar to ourselves and went back to wherever they were from and started teaching. So it's a great social event as well as being competitive. It's stressful, but it's enjoyable.
Push all the way now!
Some of our dancers will have really high expectations at the World, and some of them are going to the World Championships for the first time.
Cross, over cross! Good girl. Keep it up now.
You're dealing with all the children and all their parents' expectations as well, so fortunately enough we're blessed by having children who are very realistic about their own expectations.
Still to come, what's the reality for Irish dancers when it comes to making a career for themselves?
We receive emails, you know, every week with dancers looking for work.
When a dancer decides to retire from the competitive world of Irish dance, a number of options are now available if they wish to keep it as part of their future.
One of the main developments from Riverdance and Lord of the Dance was the possibility of Irish dancers to make a professional career out of their art.
When dancers, they work for 15, 20 years to become proficient so they can win their world title, and then they're in their prime at 19 years old and it's all over with. I could never understand that. So this gives them an opportunity to go on and make a little bit of money and enjoy themselves doing what it is that they work so hard to learn how to do.
Before the shows were successful, really anyone who was teaching Irish dancing, they did it as a second job, as a hobby almost, for the love of it. And if they were performing, it was something they did seasonally for the tourists or visiting heads of state, that type of thing. Again, it wasn't something that could provide a full-time living.
You can do an undergraduate degree in Irish music and dance, which is the same as doing an undergraduate, in that, as in any other graduate, it will qualify you to take on postgraduate diplomas. So it's really good that people can get credit for that. But equally, that opens other career paths in terms of community music and dance, teaching in community arts projects, working in community arts centres. And it's one of the things that we would be very conscious of is to develop, yes, technical skills, but also vocational and academic skills.
The shows have allowed people to work professionally as performers, Irish dance performers, but also because they've increased the want for Irish dance classes, it's possible for people to work now as full-time Irish dance teachers and make quite a decent living out of it.
Mary McElvoy teaches students all over the country who are preparing to sit their teachers' examinations.
If a dancer is finished dancing and they want to become a dancing teacher, they come to my classes.
Change to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and on you go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pace and right.
It's definitely very popular. A lot of the candidates now, they wouldn't all necessarily teach, but they want to get their exam because it makes their dancing career complete.
Now you're going to go back in the direction in which you were travelling, okay?
The exams take place worldwide in Dublin and Limerick, Derry, Belfast, depend on which area you want to have it. And then it's in all different parts of England, America, Australia, New Zealand, and Africa, and Europe. They're all over.
Now sit down now and I'll give you your notes for that.
Also working in Manchester is New York native Caitlin Kelly. While Caitlin works as an au pair for Jonathan and Claire McMurrow, she also assists their dance classes in preparation for her teacher's examinations.
My family is from Galway and Cork. My dad's in Galway, my mom's family is from Cork. We also have some in Wicklow and Dublin. So I feel really connected with my Irish roots. That's how I got into Irish dancing. My dad was into the music and my sister danced when she was younger. So I'm hoping to open my own school and start making dancing costumes when I get home. Vamonos! What does vamonos mean? I'm hoping to make my mark on Irish dancing in New York. I think that there's a big demand in a place like New York. There's a lot of Irish people, and there's a lot of people who aren't Irish who are just interested in it because it's such a big community, the Irish dance community in New York City.
The exam, for the teacher's exam, it starts on Thursday. It goes for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then for the adjudicators, then they do their adjudicating on Sundays.
There's a written part of the exam and a music part of the exam where you have to recognize the set pieces that we dance to, which to the untrained ear probably all just sounds like diddly diddly dee versus diddly diddly dum. So that's been a little bit of a challenge.
Where else will you find the return chain? In the Morris Reel, very good. If they're from England or other places, America, they don't have to do the oral Irish. But if there was somebody living in America or England and came to live in Ireland and became a dancing teacher, they're given 2 years to study a bit of Irish and they have to do an oral Irish exam. They've an awful lot to learn in the year. There's a lot of studying.
This is Orinky Forna. This is the book where they learn all their Cayley dances. There are 30 dances in the whole book.
It's almost like training for a marathon and training for a huge school exam at the same time. There's a very big physical component and there's also a very big academic sort of component.
Some of them could do it in 9 months, other a year, others could take a year and a half.
I was the dancer who would forget their set piece at the Nationals, so I'm just hoping I don't forget my steps.
Another career option available to dancers is to become part of an Irish dancing entertainment group.
Dancer is very popular now. We receive emails, every week with dancers looking for work. We usually ask for their CV and a headshot, and their dance experience basically will be very important. We also like to use dancers who have other show experience as well in some of the bigger touring companies. We know a lot of the good dancers that are out there in a lot of the dance shows, We also, scout regularly for new dancers coming up through the ranks. We're definitely in demand. We travel quite extensively throughout Europe. This year in particular, we were in 5 consecutive countries at the same time for St. Patrick's Day. So we were East Russia, Brussels, Spain, Norway and Colorado in the USA. Recently we were lucky enough to be invited to perform for the Queen as part of the Chieftains Act in the Convention Centre in Dublin. So we were honoured to be asked to perform with the Chieftains. It was an amazing event. We have a good mix of age groups in Dowsa. Maybe the youngest would be 20, maybe 21, going right up to early 30s. All of the dancers, are professional. They've all got a huge amount of experience under the belt. Some of the dancers would be full-time dancers, and then others would be working in full-time jobs or maybe at college, and they dance basically to pay their way through college. So it's a nice talent to have, to be able to fund your college course.
Although everyone involved in the world of Irish dance holds different hopes for the future, they all share one wish: that Irish dancing continues to prosper and unite nations around the globe for generations to come.
Irish dancing has evolved so much over the last 20 years, both in style, in technique, in athleticism, that it's hard to fathom how much further or how much further afield it can go, but it is very much a living, breathing tradition. So I dare say we will see different developments over the coming decade or two.
I'd love for dance to be a subject for the junior certs and the leaving certs like they have in the UK, and that you can do dance as a general subject but kind of specialise in Irish dance.
I hope that younger, more talented people will come up through the ranks and take it even further. I'm delighted to see that it's become kind of cool to be an Irish dancer. I think that's a nice thing for the guys and the girls that are out there, and I would wish that it would just keep going at the same speed. We've made tremendous gains in the last 15 or 20 years in Irish dancing, and I'd love that to continue.
I would like for Irish dance to be able to maintain the multi-layers that it has, for the people who want to engage in it socially and to enjoy. That's the most important thing. If you love dance, you should be able to do it.
I would love to see the children to enjoy it more and not concentrate too much on the top competition.
On commission we're talking about maybe bringing in a uniform dress for everyone. Obviously I don't want it to happen, and the kids and the parents that are involved in Irish dancing don't want it to happen, so fingers crossed it won't happen.
We can only hope that the next generation of kids that come up from Eileen or from Pat are just as talented, and that we enjoy the same success in the school, really.
Yeah.
I'm actually hoping to move into other areas with a possibility of moving into China.
For the future, I would just like to see our success continue. I'd like to keep dancers working and have all the dancers continue to enjoy their performances.
I would love to see, myself personally, Irish dancing fusing together with ballet or jazz and pop and tap dancing.
As long as you can get that continuum and trace your knowledge back to steps 100 and odd years old, then I think we're justifying and going 100 and odd years forward. And who knows what we'll be doing then. Dancing on Mars will give us the lift, I suppose.
Next week at the Worlds, we meet 2 girls fighting for the same trophy.
Usually after all that time practicing really hard, I'm just falling apart. Been waiting for something to fall, but I feel really good right now, so it's exciting for tomorrow.
While the both of them battle it out on one stage, Jack's dance comes to a sudden stop on another. Can Claire make it 5 in a row as she dances before the stony-faced judges?
I wouldn't like to be performing today. I wouldn't like to be up on the stage dancing today.
For me, the more I win, the more nervous I get, because the more you win, the more people are expecting you to win.